was walking home alone late the other night. I couldn't see a single star in the sky. Oh.
I'd watch these guys with Mark singing, and I guess we just got talking one night in a hallway, and I was just, about writing or something, and it's like, if you feel like sending me something that you're working on or whatever, have a go at writing together.
There's been a number of things of like, hey, let's do something or whatever. And it doesn't always, very rarely kind of works out for a number of different reasons. It's like talk and then you never actually get around to all the plans that you talk about doing. And then the other thing, it doesn't always work out. There's been a number of things that have just never like come together, or things that we've tried to put together and I've gone like, you know what, I'm not feeling it, or it just doesn't feel right, or it's just not very good.
I think as well, like, for me, it's like after the tour, after we'd finished, my band had finished that tour, I really kind of like had said to myself, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Like, it was like I was in that kind of place, and so I kind of like, when Rich first sent me something, at first I kind of felt like, I don't know, like, I'm not, I know I just kind of put like Rich said, we talked about it, and now it was real. He'd sent me something, and in a way it was perfect because I was in this space of like, I really didn't want to do anything. Everything sort of fell into place.
It came together really naturally. There was, not saying that. Yeah, there was no effort. But it did. Like, there was no forced thing of like, okay, we've got to make this work. I can't do that. That's one thing that has always been one of my. If something doesn't feel right, I just can't do it. Like, no matter what, I have to kind of walk away from it. And like I say, I've been in situations before where I've started work on something with somebody that I really like their band, everything else, and being like, this just doesn't work. Like, it should do, but it doesn't. It's one of those things, you can't force something to work if it doesn't feel right. You can still do it, and it's not going to be very good. It just felt easy and natural, and it kind of ran itself really. And the next thing you know, it was like, okay, well, it's going to be a whole record, We're kind of in deep now at this point in time. Yeah,
there was a point when it was just like, okay, there's no going back now. It was too good. It was too important. It really kind of felt like that, and there was going to be more. Fortunately for me as well, like, I had the time and the sort of space to do that, and I don't know, I just was in it was perfect.
I took the title from Frank Stanford poem. When we were looking for titles, I'd recently kind of read it again, huge fan of his kind of work. And there was just something about the title that felt really fitting for the for the work that we'd done at that point in time. And we just kind of kicked it around. I remember kind of texting you about it, and you were just like straight off like...
Yeah, I wrote it down, and it kept sort of speaking to me.
It just fits. When you play around with those things, sometimes you'll just put something down, and you're like, okay, I think that's it. When
I was writing a lot of the words, I seemed to come out of that sort of place of wanting to redeem myself from some lost place. And I wasn't aware of it as it was happening. It wasn't until we got a few songs in, and just the way we were writing and the order the songs were playing out, and we kept, sort of, as Rich would say, we've upped the ante, and we've got, and it started to become this sort of thing. Yeah. It wasn't planned. But.
No, well, I think there was no conscious plan for the whole thing, which is normally how, for me, the best work comes together, is when you don't sit out with like, oh, we should do this. It just naturally evolved, and then kind of, 4 or 5 tracks into it, you're like, okay, this is kind of got a direction of its own here. Let's just get on for the ride and kind of see where it goes. I guess at that point, all of a sudden, it just kind of took shape itself, really.